Anaconda last week. Today I'm going to walk you through a simple Python lab in Jupyter Notebook. We will cover comments, variables, data types, strings, conditionals, loops, function, and even classes, all in one place. So let's get started. First, I'll add a single line comment to describe what this program does. Then I'll write a multiple line comment with my name, today's date, and the course name. But first of all, what is comment in Python? A comment is a line of text in your code that the interpreter completely ignores. It's meant for humans, either for yourself or others reading your code, to understand what the code is doing, why certain decisions were made, or to temporarily disable part of the code during testing. First of all, why we need to use comments in our code. We use comments to explain logic. We use comments to make code readable, and we use comments to disable codes. We can decide to disable some line of code if we prefer. So in this matter, we always use comments. And a single line comment always starts by the hashtag symbol, and everything following the hashtag symbol will be considered as a comment. Understand why comments are useful. So let's see how we can create them in Python. To create a single line comment, we use the hashtag symbol, and everything following the hashtag symbol will be considered as a comment. To create a multiple line comment, we use a triple quote, and everything inside the triple quote will be considered as a comment. This is a multiple line comment. I am going to create two variables and assign a value to one integer and one string. So my first variable will be x, and I'm gonna assign a value of 10 to x. My second variable is gonna be y, and I'm gonna assign a value of a string, Python. Okay, and now I'm going to print my x and my y, which are my variables. I'm gonna use the function print x and y. Let's see what is give. Uh-oh, we have an error. So let's see. Oh yeah. Here I forgot to assign, and yeah, error is like common in Python. You will get errors every time. Let's try again. Bam, we got it. Now we can see I assigned a value of 10 to x and a value of a string Python to y. And when I print, I call it the function print. I use the variable x and y, and here we can see our program is printing 10 Python. Lastly, I'm gonna create course equal CS 101. As we can see, we have 20 as a value assigned to the variable age, 5.9 as a value assigned to the variable 8, and CS 101 as a value assigned to the variable course. So how to know the type of each value here? We can use the type function to check the data and understand the type of each one of them. We can do, let's say, the type of age, and we are close. Let's try it. Boom, class int. So here we can see that age is class int because 20 is an integer. Height, and run it. Okay, here we can see height is float because 5.9 is a float point number. Let's see the type of course, our course. Let's run it. Boom, string. Here we can see that class string, meaning the type of the course or the value in the course variable is a string. And as we said before, a string is always enclosed in quote. It can be a single quote or a double quote. It is still a string. Now, can we convert one type to another? Yes, we can do it. Let's try it. Let's do a equal string, and then we put age inside. Let's see when we print, if we print a, what it's gonna give us. Boom. And now age, I'm gonna do print type, and our first value is age. I'm gonna also print type, the type of height, Lastly, I'm gonna print the type of our course. And now let's run and see what we got. Okay, for our first value, we have an integer. It says class int, which means 20 is an integer. As you know, it's just an integer. Our second value is class float. 5.9 is a float point number, which is the same thing. And for lastly, we have class string. And as we said before, a string is a combination of characters enclosed in a single or double quotes. And this is what we have here. Our third value is a string, class string. And course CS101 is just a string. And now we can comment our code saying that age is just an integer. Uh, we can say that height is just a float. And lastly, course is a string. So here is the thing. Can we convert from one type to another? Yes. Let's see if we can convert our age, which was an integer, into a string. So here I'm creating a new variable called age converted, and I'm doing string age. So basically I'm just converted from the type string, from the type integer to string. And here I'm gonna print the type of age converted now. Let's run it. And boom, as you can see, class string. So age, an integer, now became a string. Okay, next, now let's talk about string. So I'll create a variable called greetings, and I'll give it a string called hello world. And now I'll print the first and the last characters using indexing. So I'll do first equal greeting index 0. I'll do last equal greeting, and I'll index -1 to print the last character in our string. And here, if I do print first and last, if I print this, our program will print the first and the last characters of our string. But also I can, let's say I want to know the length of our string. I can do print length of our string, which is gray thing. So let's run it. And 11. So now we know that the first character in our string is uppercase H. The last character in our string is D, and the length of our string is 11. Next, we're gonna talk about conditional and booleans. So talking about conditional and booleans, in Python, booleans always return the value of true or false, and conditional is just the way we use logic to say that if something is something, do this, and if it's not, then do this. So let's try it. I'm gonna create a variable a equal 15, b equal 10. So I'm gonna add a conditional here, which is just a logical to ask the program if a is greater than b, then the program will print a is greater than b. If also if a is equal to b, here my program will print a is equal to b, else the program else the program will print B is greater than A. So let's try it. If we run the program, it's going to tell us that A is greater than B. Why? It's because A have the value of 15 and B has the value of 10. So basically, it's obvious that A is greater than B. That was the conditional and booleans. We could ask the program is, but the other thing we could do, even before printing all this, we could ask our program, is A equal to B or is A greater than B? And the program will still tell us or return the boolean value, which could be either false or true. Let's try it. So I'm gonna just do A equal B, and if we run the program will say false because A is not equal to B. 15 is not equal to 10. And now let's talk about loops. So I will start with a while loop and print a number from 1 to 5. So I'll do count equal 1 while count is less than 6, and then I will print the count, and I will do count plus equal to 1. So the while loop will loop and look at every single character between from 1 to 5 because it wouldn't include 6 since count is less than 6. And if I run this program, let's see what we got here. So now if we run our program will count from 1 to 5. So we wouldn't include 6 because we said while count is less than 6, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was the while loop. Let's talk about the for loop. Here I'm gonna do, then I'll create a list of fruits and use a for loop to print each fruit. I will do L fruits, L fruits, L fruits equal, I'm just gonna copy our list. And so here we have the list of our fruits: apple, orange, cherry, banana, and mango. So to count and print all the fruits in our list, I can use the for loop and I can do for each one of the fruits in L fruits. For each one of the fruits in L fruits, if no, I just can do print each fruits. So basically what I did here, I said I created a variable called list of fruits, L fruits, and I gave it the value, a list of all the fruits I have. And then I used these for loops to look inside the list. And here so I said for each fruit. So the program gonna look at each fruit inside the list. And here I'm gonna print each fruit. So let's try it. Mango. So here we have apple, orange, cherry, banana, and mango, meaning we have the list of all fruits we have printed. So the other thing I can do is that I can use a for loop. I can use a for loop to look inside our list and print all the fruit we have until we reach banana. When we get to banana, we break our program. So we won't print any other fruits after banana. So when we reach banana and everything after banana, we won't print them. We will break the program. Let's do it. So let me just copy this list again, and I'm gonna do it here, and I'm gonna do for each fruits. So I'm gonna do for each fruits in our L fruits. If each if each fruits equal, and here I'm gonna do if each fruit equal banana, break. And after breaking the program, I'm gonna print each fruit that was before banana. So what I did here is I took again a variable called list of fruits, L fruits. I gave it a list of all fruits I have: apple, orange, cherry, banana, mango. And I used the for loop to iterate each fruit in the list. So I did for each fruit in the list, if each fruit equal banana, break the program. So look at all the fruits we have in our list. If you see banana, break the program, stop, don't continue, and print as all the fruits you found before banana. So let's try and see if it works. Perfect. We see apple, orange, cherry. Apple, orange, cherry. But when we arrive to banana, the program breaks. So there is no banana and mango on our new list. So now let's talk about functions. To talk about functions, I'll create. So now let's talk about function. But before we do functions, let's understand first what is functions in Python. A function in Python is like a reusable mini program. A named block of code that perform a specific task when called. It helps you organize your code, avoid repetitions, and make your program more readable and modular. What I mean by that, let me show you. So in your program, you don't need to use every single line you did before. It can create problems. So in that case, we use functions to reuse them instead of reusing all the lines of code you did. Instead of repeating all the lines of code you wrote before, you can just call your functions and do the same thing as you did before. So let's do it. So here I'm gonna name my variable name, and I'm gonna give it a string called medar. So after that, I'm gonna define my function. We use the def to define a function, and my function is called greet, and I'm gonna pass the name in my grades. And after that, I'm gonna print something with my variable. So I'm gonna do print. I'm gonna start with the f string. Don't care about the f string for now. We will talk about it later. So I'm gonna do hello name. So what do you think our program is gonna do right now? Our program is taking the name, and we took this string of medar, we put it in our name. So we defined the function and we gave it the value of name. And what we want to do, we want to, every time we call our function, we want to print hello name or hello medar. But if we run this program right now, there won't be any outputs. Why? Because we created a function, but we didn't call the function. So in order to print, in order to execute our function, we have to call it. And how do you call your function? You call your function by just writing the name of your function. I'm gonna do just greet name. That's it. Now I've called my function. Let's run it and see if now it works. And boom, it works. Hello, Medar. So I think you saw what I did. I created this variable. I gave it a value of a string, which is Medar. And then I defined my function. I gave it a name of greet. And who I want to greet is name. The name is Medar. And what I want to print, I want to print something. I want every time I call my function to print hello medar. But it won't work if I don't call the function. So here I called my function, and if I run the function, it will print hello medar. Let's try one more time. Let's do a sum of two numbers using a function. So I'm gonna define I can do it here. I'm gonna define a new function called add, and I'm gonna give it x and y. So after that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask the program to return x plus y. I'm asking here to return whenever I call the function add, I'm gonna get the program return x plus y. As you already know, it won't work without calling our function. So now I'm gonna call our function add, and I'm gonna pass a value inside 5 and 7. So basically what I'm doing here, defining a function called add. I'm giving it x and y, and I'm telling the program to return x plus y. If I could do x minus y or x times y, that's the like what I would get. But if I want to add or the sum of two numbers, then I'm gonna do 5 and 7, and let's run and see what we get. Boom. So 5 plus 7 is 12. This is how a function works in Python. Lastly, let's talk about classes and objects. In Python, so now I'll define a simple class called car with a property brand equal Ford. So now I'll define a simple class car with a property brand equal Ford. I'll create an object my car from this class and print out the brand. So let's do it. Here I'm gonna do class car. So car is my class. It's the class I'm creating. I'm gonna do brand equal Ford. For that, create a string Ford, and I'm gonna create my car equal car. And if I want to print, so basically this investigation here is now okay. So if I want to print the brand of my car, I'll do my car dot brand, and let's run and see if it works. Okay, it didn't work. It raised an error saying that name my car is not defined. Oh, here we can see the mistake. Like I wrote my car instead of my car, which made the program like raise this error. So let's try it again. Boom, Ford. And that was the class in Python. And that's it. We just covered the basic of Python step by step, from variable to classes, all in one notebook. Hope this was helpful. Thank you.